Hello, I'm Julia Hankins, Children's Wellbeing Consultant, former classroom teacher and senior leader, and the founder of Wellbeing Adventurers. And I spend most of my time supporting schools with wellbeing training and workshops. I also mentor kids yoga teachers who want to support children's wellbeing and also thrive while they do it. And if you're passionate about delivering yoga during the school day, perhaps for a sports day or as part of an activity week, this video is for you. It's part two of a four-part series that's all focused around bringing yoga to schools as part of an activity week or a sports day. And so if you haven't listened or watched the first video, then you might want to pop back and start there, because I talked all about why I believe that yoga and mindful movement deserve to be part of schools' PE offerings. And in that video, I also shared the benefits to the children, to the school, and to you in your business. But in this video, I'm going to be sharing some important considerations for the content of what to teach in these yoga classes, that the ones that are designed to fit into a school sporting or physical activity event. And so I know this can be a real issue for kids yoga teachers who may teach in school clubs or their community classes, teaching smaller groups in a very different environment. So I think a lot of kids yoga teachers wonder, what do we actually teach in these lessons? And I think that can sometimes put kids yoga teachers off from offering their services to schools. And it's a shame, because I think, we should be there, we should be in schools, and we should be supporting schools in this way. And so you might be wondering how to bridge that gap between working with a small group, playful sessions, to like a whole class during the school day, with a link to physical activity and PE. And you're just not alone in that. If this is something that you're worried about or you're thinking about, then this is very common. And one of the main things that I do when I'm mentoring kids yoga teachers is to support them to make that transition themselves from small, confident, cozy groups to curriculum aligned lessons that are in front of potentially classes of 30 children. And so if you are new with just starting out with thinking about working in schools and teaching whole groups in this way, then there's two of my self-paced courses that will really help you here if that's something that you're looking for more support in. So one is called Tame the Crowd, and Tame the Crowd Without Being Loud. And this is ideal if you're worried about behaviour management. It's full of practical tools for keeping things calm, connected and in control, especially with larger groups. And it's all based on evidence-based information from neuroscience and psychology, where I drew on my master's in mental health and wellbeing and education. I share lots of important stuff in that. And there's also a training called Structure for Success. And in that training, I show you how to deliver yoga as part of the school day, not just a after school club. And that's rooted in my 20 years of experience as a primary school teacher and school leader. And so with that kind of educator hat on, of knowing what makes a good lesson. So I created these courses because I saw that quite often it can be a real barrier for us kids yoga teachers in reaching out into schools if we're not feeling confident in what it is that we are offering. And so if you feel like those would be a benefit to you, check them out. Okay, so school day versus after school club, there's some differences there, aren't there, in what you will deliver and how that lesson will look. And so it's really important to deliver a session that is suited to a curriculum lesson. So that's going to look very different to your after school classes. And so you might need to ditch certain props or games, you might need to adjust your class structure, and you will definitely need to align what you're offering with schools' expectations. And in the UK, that's the national curriculum. And that can feel really intimidating, but it's completely doable, and I'm here to support you if you need that. So if you'd like an example of how I approach my PE for sports lessons, then I'm sharing one of my lesson plans with you for free, and that's a Key Stage 1 Sports Day yoga lesson. It's one that I've used in schools myself, and you're welcome to use it for inspiration, to tweak it, to take what works for you in your style, or you might just read it and think, yeah, that's not for me, which is totally fine too. This is a free resource for you to have a look at and consider, oh, okay, she does it that way, or, you know, take ideas from it. Take what's helpful and leave the rest. So some important things to consider when we're offering kids yoga lessons within schools for part of their PE, for like a sports day or an activity week, is that the school is your client. And this is really important mind shift change, because we're used to, well, perhaps you're used to parents being your clients and having many different clients for one thing. But in schools, the school itself is your client, which means that your sessions need to meet their expectations, it needs to meet their goals and their curriculum links. And so when you do that well, schools are much more likely to invite you back again and again. And I have quite a few schools that call me back. I've been there, I deliver a sports day yoga, I do nothing else for that school, but they call me back the next year. And it's because what I've delivered is something that really works for them and works for their school. And so when you're really clear about what it is the school want, then, and you're able to deliver that, and then they're like, wow, she's brilliant, we'll call her back. So importantly, start with a lesson objective. So ask yourself, but more importantly, ask the school, what's the goal of the lesson? What's the outcome? What do the school want to get out of you delivering this lesson? So it could be that the school wants to give the children a first-hand experience of yoga and its benefits. Or it could be that the school wants children to understand how yoga can support physical health alongside sport. Or perhaps it could be that the school want you to deliver something about the impact of yoga on calm or focus or strength or balance or whatever it is. But once you've got clarity around the goal that the school have, then you can shape your lesson or your workshop to deliver just that. You can meet their needs. And then that's the special sauce, isn't it? That's the magic ingredient that makes them like, wow, let's have her back. And so this conversation with the school is really important, and it's, don't forget to ask the questions like, what would you like the children to come away with, or are there any specific links that you would like me to make, or perhaps do you want this to be an experience-based lesson, a skills-based lesson, or something else? Sometimes schools will give you information and sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll just be like, oh, you know, whatever you do, and that's fine too. If they just want you to deliver something and be totally responsible from beginning to end, then that's fine too. But asking them their expectations first is really important, so that you're not getting you're not delivering something that they're not expecting. And so when I'm delivering yoga for PE, so whether that's my annual contract lessons where I deliver yoga within the PE lesson, or whether you're doing it as, whether I'm doing it as a sports day or part of an activity week, I tend to focus on the four main benefits of yoga. And obviously this is really, you know, reductive and simplified to say there are only four benefits. We know there are way more than four benefits, but I find that having just four means that it's more easy for children to understand the key ones. And for me personally, in my own practice, those are balance, strength, flexibility, and relaxation. And so I use those in all of my resources are color coded. So red is strength, green is balance, yellow is flexibility, and blue is relaxation. So all of my cards I use within the PE lessons are coded in that way, and I use that language all the time with the children so they understand the physical skills that they're improving on. Now, it may be that that you think, oh wow, why should you use those for? I would use a completely different form, and that's totally fine. Or maybe you already have a language that you use to describe this. I'm not saying that my way is the only way or the best way. I'm just sharing with you what I personally have arrived at with my experience as a previous PE leader in a school, and also an experienced yoga teacher. So that's what I've come up with. And so these themes, these 4 themes, help me to frame yoga as a physical activity supporting the body. And the way that I do that, it aligns really well with the PE curriculum in schools, and also fits in well with my yoga hat on too. So hopefully I touched on a few things there that you may find helpful. Just a few little reminders for you of what I've discussed today. Remember, the school's the client. Build your session to meet what it is they're after. Set a clear lesson objective. What do you want the children to experience or learn? Make sure that you link to the school curriculum. If you need help with this, check out Structure for Success. That will really help you. Communicate with the school and make sure that what you believe and what they believe are the same thing. If your class lesson is as part of a PE lesson or a sports context, focus on the physical benefits. It can be tempting to go down a rabbit warren of only talking about the emotional and mental health benefits of yoga, but if it's a PE lesson, yes, we can definitely draw on those and talk to those, but we also really need to make it a focus on the physical body. And then when you do that, when you meet what the school's looking for, you're likely to get repeat bookings because the school will love you for it. So I hope that you found that useful. Check out my free Key Stage 1 Sports Day lesson plan. Check out also Tame the Crowd Without Being Loud if you're interested in teaching and focusing your lessons either on large groups or on just behaviour in all of your classes. If you're interested in structuring lessons a bit more, then check out Structure for Success. Or if you're interested in getting my resources, check out my yoga cards and training on that. If you have any questions, email me, julia@juliahankins.co.uk.